Hi, and welcome to this Jira training course. I'm glad you're here. Whether you're a team leader, a project manager, or developer, Jira can help you manage your work more efficiently, but only if you understand how to use it properly. In this course, we're going to break Jira down into simple, digestible chapters. If you've already watched the first two videos in this Jira for Beginners series, you've already learned about the basic building blocks of Jira, such as issues, backlogs, boards, and sprints, and how those features are used by teams that employ the Agile approach to projects. We'll continue that journey in this video, and by the end, you'll be confident in using Jira to manage your team's projects. But first, let's talk about why Jira matters. Think about any team project you've worked on. Maybe it was building a website, launching a marketing campaign, or developing a software application. Chances are, keeping track of who was doing what, when it was due, and what was left to do got complicated fast. Jira helps you organize that chaos. It's like a digital whiteboard and task tracker that scales up for large teams. With Jira, you can see what's happening, when it's due, who's responsible, and how the work is progressing all in one place. So whether you're dealing with 2 tasks or 200, Jira brings visibility, structure, and control. Here's how we'll break things down for this course. You'll start by creating your own Kanban board, a visual tool for managing tasks. We'll explore how to customize it to fit your workflow. You'll learn how to create issues. That's Jira speak for tasks or work items. Then we'll look at the different ways you can view, filter, and group those issues. You'll learn how to use dashboards, filters, reports, and even bulk actions to manage multiple issues at once. Finally, we'll wrap up with Jira's roadmap features, perfect for long-term planning. We'll use real-world examples along the way, like planning a product launch or managing a development sprint, so what you'll learn will be practical and easy to apply. I recommend following along in your own Jira environment. Pause the video after each demo and try it yourself. That hands-on practice will make everything stick. And remember, you don't have to memorize every button or menu. We'll focus on what's important and what you'll use most often. So let's review. Jira helps teams stay organized and in control of their projects. It's especially useful for Agile teams, but it's flexible enough for almost any kind of work. This course will teach you Jira step by step using real-world examples. Hands-on practice will help solidify what you learn. So now that you know what to expect and the why and the what, let's get into the how. In the next chapter, we'll create your first Kanban board, a powerful tool for tracking your team's work visually. Before we can organize any tasks, we need a place to see them. That's where Kanban boards come in. Imagine a whiteboard with sticky notes. Each note is a task, and columns like to do, in progress, and done show the status. That's what a Kanban board is, but digital, collaborative, and scalable. Kanban boards help you visualize your workflow so you can see what needs doing, what's in progress, and what's done, all at a glance. In Jira, a Kanban board is tied to a project and displays a collection of issues or tasks, also known as work items. You can customize the columns and filters later, but for now, let's just get started. We'll create a basic one together. First, click on Projects, then Create Project. There's a lot of project templates here to choose from. But scroll down to the Products area and click Jira. Then click Kanban. You can read about this template here. I'm going to click Use Template. If you've watched the previous Jira for Beginners videos, you'll remember that team-managed projects are great for when your team needs flexibility and independence in configuring your project. And company-managed projects are useful for settings where a Jira admin controls the configs, so that all projects across a company use consistent settings. I'll choose team-managed. Next, name your project. I'm going to use this Kanban project to organize the work around a marketing launch plan. So I will name my board Marketing Launch Plan. Make sure that you're happy with the key that automatically is generated. It's going to show up everywhere in the interface, so you can modify it if you'd like the key to be something else. Next, choose project permissions. I'm on the free version, so my only option is open. That doesn't mean anyone on the internet can access my project. I still need to invite people in. Next, I will click Next. Jira will take a few moments to create your project. Great. Jira project successfully created. Next, you can invite teammates. I'll skip this for now, so I'll click Skip. Great. Just like that, you've got a working board. Jira set up my board automatically with some default columns: To Do, In Progress, and Done. Since I'm using this board to lead a marketing team planning a product launch, I'm going to go ahead and create a few tasks along those lines. This project might have tasks like create social media calendar, design graphics, and write press release. Now you can visualize and move these work items through your workflow as work is being done. So to recap, Kanban boards give your team visual clarity and control over tasks. You create a board by creating a new project using the Kanban template. Start simple. You can customize it later. Next up, we'll explore what makes a Kanban board work and how it supports Agile practices. Pause the video and create a new project using the Kanban template so that you can follow along and try out the things you'll learn in the upcoming chapters. Having a board is good. Understanding how to use it effectively is even better. Kanban is an agile methodology that focuses on continuous delivery and workflow efficiency. It's not just about dragging cards, it's about improving flow. Your Kanban board has several elements. It has columns, which represent the stages in your workflow, such as to do, in progress, and done. It has cards, also known as issues or work items. Since creating this board in the previous chapter, I've created some more issues and assigned them to some of the team members. Click on a card to see more details about it. You can drag an issue to a new column when its status changes. Your board also has swim lanes. Use the Group drop-down menu to create swim lanes or horizontal groupings. For example, now my board is grouped horizontally by assignee. So all of Farmer Brown's issues are grouped together. and Olive Gardner-Greer's are also grouped together. I'll click None to remove my swim lanes. Depending on your project's configurations, you might also see a tab for Backlog. I don't see one here, but I can easily add it. First, I'll look in More, and I don't see it there, so I'll click the plus sign, select Backlog, and add to navigation. Now I have a link for Backlog. I'll click No Thanks on this alert. So a backlog is useful to have when you have many tasks that eventually need to get done, but most won't be worked on soon. This project is going to need dozens and dozens of tasks over the coming months. I could put, say, 72 tasks into the to-do column on my board, but that's going to be difficult to manage. That's way too much information to see on my board, especially since most of those to-dos aren't going to get done anytime soon. So instead, I can put items in my backlog. I'll go ahead and click Create to add a few items to my backlog. Perhaps schedule, product, announcement, blog post, and monitor launch KPIs. And finally, planned and host virtual launch event. Now I've captured these ideas about work that needs to happen, and they'll sit on my backlog until I'm ready to put them onto my board. As my team moves items to Done, that'll clear up some space in To Do. So I'll then go to my backlog and move some items up onto my board. This helps keep the team focused on what's important now, rather than overwhelming them with an exhaustive and exhausting to-do list. So, to recap, a Kanban board keeps my project and my team organized. I don't need to ask for daily status updates or send out emails to assign tasks. The board shows my team the tasks that they should be currently focused on. I can easily see what's in progress and what's been completed. And I can see when the team has capacity to tackle more to-dos. When that happens, I'll move the next highest priority items onto the board. Next up, let's customize your board so it reflects how your team actually works. Let's talk about customizing your Kanban board. Your team doesn't work like every other team, so your board shouldn't necessarily look like theirs. Customizing helps Jira match your processes, not force you into someone else's. In a team-managed project, there are several things that you can adjust on your Kanban board. You can adjust the columns. You can adjust the card layout. You can adjust issue types, swim lanes, and filters. Let's take a look at those. Let's edit the columns. On your board, click the plus sign to the right of your rightmost column. Enter a name. I'm going to create a column named For Review. I want tasks. Once the team member completing the task thinks it's done, I don't want them to call it done quite yet. I want them to move it into the For Review status. So I'll move this For Review column to between In Progress and Done. Someone else will be assigned to review the work, and that person has the authority to move it over to Done. You can also rename a column. Since I created a backlog, which will contain many, many to-dos, I'll rename to-do something else. Perhaps ready for work. So these are not just ideas for tasks. They have all the details needed to be ready for work, and someone can pick them up and start working on them and move them to In Progress. So each column is tied to a status in your project's workflow. You can also customize issue types. Some of the tasks in the marketing launch plan are about creating graphics, digital files of images. It could be useful to treat them as their own issue type because it might have some customized fields for graphic type and dimensions, and maybe issues of these types will be reviewed by the creative director as opposed to other tasks that will be reviewed by, maybe me. So to customize the issue types, I'm going to go to Project Settings. Here in the sidebar, I'll go to my project, click More Settings, and then Project Settings. I can scroll down to Work Types, and I'm going to add a work type. Here's a list of work types that Jira is suggesting that I can add. These are standard work types that are not yet available in my Kanban board, but I can easily add them here. But for my example, I'm going to create my own work type. So I will click Create Work Type. I'll enter a name. I'm going to call this Design Task. Again, this work type is going to be used to track tasks where the deliverable is a graphics file. So I'll click Create Now. From here, I can configure this work type some more. Maybe I'll change the icon. That seems better. And I can remove fields by dragging and dropping. Like perhaps I don't need team on this one, so I can remove this field. But I do want to have priority, so let me go and add that field. Now I want this work type to have a field where the person creating the task can describe which file output the deliverable should be in. So I'm going to create a custom field. I'll create a field, and there will be multiple options that the file type could be. So I will use checkbox. My field name, I'll say file type. And then I'll configure my options. Perhaps PNG is one option, JPEG, and GIF. I'll click Save Changes. I'll click Back to Project. Now this design graphics work issue, I can now change the task type. So I'll click on this issue, mouse over the work type, which is currently task, and change it to design task. The issue type has been changed, and notice now a file type field appears. This field is on this issue type. For this card, I want output in all three of these file formats. I can further customize the issues that show up on my board in a few ways. I can click on a person's initials to restrict the issues that appear to just ones that are assigned to that person. I can modify by type, so just view the design tasks or just view the other kinds of tasks. I can group the tasks into various swim lanes. Note, subtasks didn't have any effect because I don't yet have any subtasks. We'll look at that later. Note, the options that you see in the Group menu will depend on various factors, including whether you're using a team-managed versus a company-managed project. So, to recap, on your Kanban board, you can customize the columns and work types to reflect how your team or your project needs to work. You can control what you see on the board by restricting issue by person and issue type. Use the group feature to create swim lanes for logical horizontal groupings across the board. Can you think of any board customizations that would be useful for your project? Take a few minutes to go to your board and make those changes. When you're done, come on back and we'll dig deeper on the issue of creating issues in Jira. Everything in Jira revolves around issues. Whether it's a bug, a task, a feature request, or a documentation update, each item of work your team does is created as an issue. You can't manage work if you haven't defined it, and issues are how work gets defined. So, what is an issue in Jira? An issue always contains at least 3 attributes: an issue type, a summary, or a title, and a status, such as to do, in progress, or done. Some additional commonly used fields are description, priority, and assignee. Those are fields you'll be using a lot if you continue to use Jira. You can create issues right from your board by mousing over a column, scrolling to the bottom of it, and clicking Create. Give your issue a summary, like localize content for international audiences. Select an issue type. I'll leave mine at task. And then create work item. You can also create issues from the universal Create button at the top of the screen. Click Create. Scroll up to make sure that you're creating the issue in the project that you intend to create it. Choose work type. In this instance, I'll choose bug. Oh, I haven't added that work type yet. Let me go ahead and do that. There it is. And this is a bug that is tracking the issue of a typo in an Instagram post. So for the summary, I will say fix typo in Instagram post and click Create. Note, my changes are saved, but your work item isn't visible. It's nowhere on this board yet, but I will see it in my backlog. There it is, right down there at the bottom. Now, I'm tired of finding the backlog in this menu, so I'm going to take backlog and move it over here so it's always there for me. Excellent. Now, when I'm ready for that new issue to go onto my board, I can simply drag it up to the board section. And now, there it is in my Ready for Work column on my board. Now, if you've enabled the backlog for your Kanban board, which is a useful thing to do if your project will have many tasks, you'll probably find it easiest to create issues from the backlog. Simply scroll down to the bottom and click Create. Enter a summary, maybe update, brand, assets. Choose the work type. In this case, it'll be a design task. And click Enter to create it. Create other tasks as needed. Maybe set up tracking links. And update style guide. And finally, coordinate with sales on launch timing. From this view, you can change priority and assignees. For example, coordinating with sales on launch timing might be something we want to do pretty soon. And I can assign that to someone right from here. Let's go back to the board and recap. Issues are the core unit of work in Jira. Issues always contain a work type, a summary, and a status. Other key fields include a description, priority, and assignee. You can create issues from multiple places within the Jira interface. If you're using a backlog, that's a great place to capture ideas for tasks, which you can add details to over time. Next, we'll dig into the issue view, where all the details live. Once you're comfortable creating issues, the next step is to get comfortable managing them. You've already seen how issues appear in the board and in the backlog. Another powerful tool for managing issues is the list view, also referred to as the issues view. This view of issues is like a spreadsheet. You'll see many columns across the top, such as issue type, summary, and status. If you scroll to the right, you'll see many more columns. And each row is an issue. Just like in the backlog and board, this screen offers several ways to filter the issues that are listed. You can search for a specific issue, or search by a term like sales, click on a name to see issues assigned to that person. These are all the issues assigned to Gardner Greer. Note this other name is highlighted with this circle because that's me. I'm logged in as me. Click Filter to see many powerful options. Perhaps I'll filter to just the highest priority items. Click Clear to remove the filter. Just like on the board, you can group. This creates swim lanes, so all of Farmer Brown's issues are grouped together, and all of Gardner Greer issues are grouped together, and all the ones that are unassigned are grouped together. In view settings, I have a few options such as hide done items. Now they're removed from this view. Let me bring them back. If any columns aren't relevant to you, you can remove them. For example, maybe I don't need to see due date in this view. So I can click on More Column Actions and then Hide Field. And columns can be added. Just mouse over between two columns and click the plus sign that appears. Maybe I will add my custom field for file type. If any of the rows have a value, I'll see them populated here. I can also move columns. Maybe it's useful for me to see my priority column further to the left. From this view, you can also take actions in each column. For example, if I mouse over the issue type, I can create a child work item. So under my Design Graphics tasks, I will create a few subtasks. Perhaps I need to have a product logo designed and perhaps an Instagram ad. Now, I have subtasks associated with this parent task of design graphics. Click on Priority to change it. You can edit the summaries here as well and change the status. In short, lots of things are editable right from this screen. To open a card, click on the key. It opens a detailed view showing, well, all the details. Here you can access every attribute about this issue and edit as needed. So, to recap, the list view gives a complete picture of each task with lots of options for modifying the columns and rows that you see. From this view, you can easily make edits to the most often used issue fields. The search and filter options give you the tools you need to narrow down the list of issues that appear in the list. I invite you to pause the video and take some time exploring the list view in your own Jira project. Try out some of the pre-built filters and try making edits to issues without having to go into the issue details. When you're done, come back here and we'll take a deeper look into how to filter issues so you can find what you need quickly. As your project grows, you'll have dozens or even hundreds of issues. In the previous chapter, we looked at a few different ways to filter the issue list. But once you start using Jira for a bit, you'll probably run into a scenario where you can't quite find the filters that you want. Well, Jira has a solution for that. You can build your own filters. Let's take a look at how to do that. You can find the filter options in the sidebar menu. Scroll down or up to Filters and expand if needed. Click on All Work Items. This is a basic filter. You'll see Basic is highlighted. It's a spreadsheet-like view of all the issues in my Jira instance, spanning all projects. I can tell that because of the keys. You can also toggle to a detailed view up here at the top. Again, all my issues are listed here, and I can click on an issue to see details about it. I think, for me, the list view is a little bit easier to work with. Let's take a look at a couple of other basic filters. I'll go back to the sidebar and click on Open Work Items. These are all the issues where the resolution is unresolved. And it's sorted by priority, with the highest priority items listed first. My open work items is similar, where resolution is unresolved, and the assignee is the current user. Well, that's me. So I see a list of issues that are assigned to me that are not yet resolved. I like this My Open Work Items filter. It really helps me stay focused on the things I need to be worried about. But it would be even more useful if it was sorted by priority. So I'll mouse over priority and click the arrow until the highest priority items are listed first. There we go. To save this filter, click Save Filter. Give it a name. I will name mine My Open Work Items Prioritized. Give it a description. Say issues assigned to me. Unresolved. Listed highest priority to lowest. Next, choose who can view it. I'll leave it private for now. And who can edit. I'll leave that private for now as well. Then click Save. I'll go ahead and copy this link and look at it in a new window. Maybe I'll bookmark it in my browser. You can also note that it has been starred automatically, so I can easily find it in my sidebar under Filters, Starred Filters. Now, behind the scenes of these basic filters is code that is querying the Jira database and applying whichever filters have been selected. You can see that code by clicking jQuery. This code can be modified and saved to create a Jira query language filter. Note the sorting on this. This jQuery query is sorted by priority descending and then updated descending. So that means it's showing the highest priority items first, and then where the priority is the same, it's using the updated date to do additional sorting. So these are all medium, and it's sorting on the updated date. I'd rather have it sort by the created date, so that the ones that are created earlier get listed first. So let me click on created and do that sorting to sort the oldest first. Great. Uh-oh, what happened to my priority sorting? I lost it. Let's see what happened. If I look in the jQuery, I can see that the first sorting that happened is by created, then priority, then updated. Well, that's not what I want. So the easiest way to build this filter to do the sorting that I want is to manually edit this jQuery. So I will order by priority descending first, then the created date ascending, and well, I don't really even care about this sorting, so I can remove it. I'll click enter to run the search. Now I'm sorting by priority first, and then where the priority is the same by the day created. I like this filter now, so I'll click Save Filter and then Save Changes. Great, that was saved successfully. So there is a lot more that you can do with JQuil, such as using OR conditions and wildcard searches and date ranges. The nitty-gritty of JQuil goes beyond the scope of this course, but if you want to explore on your own, click the question mark to access Atlassian documentation on JQuil. So let's recap. Filters let you quickly find relevant issues. Use the basic search or JQuil for more control. Save filters to help you be more productive. Pause the video and explore the filters that are available to you in the sidebar. Try modifying one within basic or JQuil mode and save the new filter. When you're done, come back and we'll see how these filters can power dashboards. If filters help you find work, dashboards help you understand it. Dashboards give you a visual overview of everything happening in your project, ideal for daily check-ins and team syncs. Dashboards can also span across projects, which is useful for leadership reporting and managing multiple projects. You can find dashboards in the sidebar. Scroll down to Dashboards, expand it if needed, and click View All Dashboards. I only have one dashboard here. It's the default dashboard. You should see this one as well. Dashboards are customizable pages that use gadgets to show different kinds of information. This dashboard has gadgets for Welcome to Jira, Assigned to Me, which is a list of issues assigned to me, and a list of projects. Other gadgets are available for things like filtered results, so that you can use any filter in a gadget, burn down charts, pie charts, tables, and more. Let's create a dashboard from scratch. To do that, I'll go to the sidebar, go down to Dashboards, and click Create Dashboard. Name your dashboard. I'm going to call mine My Work because it'll be a collection of gadgets that contain information about my work. Choose who can view it. I'll leave this private for now and click Save. Now you have a blank canvas to add gadgets to. Click Add a Gadget. Here, you can search for gadgets. I know that I'm looking for one named Filter Results. Here it is. I'll click Add. And then close the gadget window. So this gadget lets me choose any saved filter to display the results right here on my dashboard. I want to use the filter that I just created in the previous chapter. So I'll open up this list and scroll and look for it. There it is, My Work Items Prioritized. Now I can select the number of results to show. 10 seems fine. Which fields to display? I'm happy with this list, but maybe I'll move priority to the top. I can select other columns as needed. I can choose from all of the columns that are available in Jira, which is quite a few. And I can select whether to auto-refresh or not. That seems pretty useful, so I'll check the box to update every 15 minutes. Then click Save. Now, this gadget shows the results of my filter. It's a really useful tool to have on my dashboard. It gives me a list of all of my unresolved work items listed highest priority to lowest. This really helps me focus on what I need to be doing today. I'm going to go ahead and add another gadget. I will add the gadget for issue statistics. Here, I can choose a filter or a project. I'm going to continue to use the filter that I created, my open work items prioritized. I'll choose a statistic to report on. I'm going to use project. I'll leave the rest as is. Oh, but I will update every 15 minutes and click Save. So this gadget gives me a report summarizing the number of issues that are assigned to me, unresolved, by project. Most of my work is in the Demo Project 2 project, and about a third are in the Marketing Launch Plan. Let me add one more gadget. I'm going to add a pie chart. Again, I'm going to use my same filter. And for the statistics type, I'm going to use resolution. Update every 15 minutes, and saved. So that resolution field describes whether an issue is resolved or unresolved. 100% of my unresolved issues are, well, unresolved. That makes sense. I'm going to make this a little bit more useful by creating a new filter that includes items that are resolved, those done items. So let me go ahead and create that filter. I'll go to the sidebar, filters. I can open the one that I'm going to base it off of because it's very similar to this one, but instead of resolution being unresolved, I'll remove that so that issues are included whether they are resolved or not resolved. I'll save this filter. This time I want to save as a copy because I want to keep my original and just make a copy of it. I will call it my open work items prioritized, but I'm going to change open to all. So it's my all work items prioritized. So this is issue items assigned to me, unresolved and resolved, listed in highest priority to lowest. Save. Now let me go back to my dashboard I was working on. Let me edit it. And in this pie chart, I will go to Configure and change the filter that I'm going to use. Now I will use the filter called my all work items prioritized. Let me close this to create a little more space, and then click Save. Now I see that more than half of my items are done and slightly less than half are unresolved. That's a little bit more useful. Another thing you can do on your dashboard is change the layout. one big column, 3 little columns. Maybe I'll use a big column on the right, big column on the left and a smaller column on the right. And then maybe I'll drag this over to here, and I'll take this big pie chart, put it into my small column over here. Which might be a little tricky to do. I'm sure I can get there. Let me just zoom out a little bit. Whew, there it is. All right, now I have a pretty useful dashboard. I have a list of my open work items, prioritized. These are things that I need to get done. I have some high-level information about where that work lives in which projects, and an overall view of how I'm doing on resolved issues versus unresolved. So this dashboard is all about me. If I were creating a dashboard for a specific project, I'd select that project name for each of the gadgets. And if I were creating a dashboard that reports across multiple projects, I'd use one of the pre-built filters if they met my needs. Or I would create a new filter that includes issues from the projects I want to report on. So to recap, dashboards turn data into insight. Use gadgets to track team health, personal workload, or project progress. Combine save filters with visual tools for powerful reporting. Take a few minutes now to pause the video and create a dashboard. Make it a project-based dashboard by choosing the same project for all of the gadgets, or make all of the gadgets based on a custom filter. When you're done, we'll explore how to share filters so others can benefit from what you've built. In the previous chapter, I created this dashboard about my work. It's really useful for me and could be useful for other team members, but right now they can't use it because this dashboard is built around a filter that only I can access. Sharing filters allows others to see exactly what you see, or things that are contextual to them based on the same criteria, whether you're checking for overdue tasks, bugs assigned to them, or issues in a sprint. This avoids duplication, improves visibility, and boosts collaboration. So you can share any saved filter with specific users, groups, or projects. Shared filters can then be used in dashboards, reports, and quick navigation. To share a filter, expand the sidebar, find the Filters section, and click View All Filters. Find your filter and click the 3 dots to the right. This is the filter that I want to share. I'll click Edit. In the Edit screen, view to the Viewers section and review what options you have. You can share it with anyone who has access to the project, a specific group of people, the whole organization, or specific users. I want anyone in the organization to be able to use this filter, so I'll select My Organization and then Add. Editors gives me the same options, but I'm going to leave this private so that no one else can edit it. I don't want anyone else messing up this filter. Then I'll click Save. In the list of filters, you can now see that this one I edited, the viewers are my organization. Let me go ahead and make the same change to my other filter while I'm here. Edit, my organization, add, and save. Now, anyone can use these two filters. Even though it's called My Work, it will work for them. Remember, the filter uses criteria of assignee equals current user. So the current user changes depending on who is logged into Jira. Shared filters are really useful. Another example is that your quality assurance leader creates a filter for all unresolved bugs created this week and shares it with the team. It's now visible to devs, managers, and even on team dashboards. So to recap, share filters so your team can reuse them for consistency and visibility. Filters can be shared with individuals, groups, or project teams. Shared filters power dashboards, reports, and collaborative workflows. Next, we'll use these filters to generate useful reports. Data without context is noise. Jira reports help you analyze team performance, identify bottlenecks, and track progress over time. Whether you're a Scrum Master, product owner, or project manager, reports help you make informed decisions. In Kanban projects, Jira provides reports like cumulative flow diagram, which shows issue states over time, and cycle time report, which gives insights into the time it takes work items to move through your workflow. In Scrum projects, you'll also see those, plus burn up and burn down charts to track completed work and remaining work. You'll also see velocity report, which gives a view of the total number of story points completed each sprint. You'll access all of these from the Reports tab on your project. Note, if you don't see reports listed, like in this project, click More. If it's still not there, click the plus sign. Click on Reports, and then Add to Navigation. You can then move it anywhere you'd like in the navigation. Let's take a look at a couple reports. So, go to a project, click Reports. Choose a report type, for example, velocity report. The report generates. Click How to read this report to get more information about the report shown on this page. Note the Learn More link if you want a deeper understanding of what's going on in this report. Click Reports to go back to the list of reports. Click Cumulative Flow Diagram. Some reports have additional filters, like this one. This one has a filter for status, and also has some date filters. Interpret the chart. In Cumulative Flow, check for bottlenecks in the In Progress category. This one looks pretty good. I don't see a bottleneck. I see the number of issues in the In Progress status going up over time, and the number of to-dos shrinking. And at the very end, I see a recent spike in Done. The longer me and my team use Jira, the better I'll be able to watch for trends and answer questions like, are we improving our cycle time? Where is work getting stuck? So Jira reports help track flow, throughput, and problem areas. Use the Reports tab in your project to access multiple visual reports. After your team has been using Jira for a bit, Explore the reports to see what you can learn about and how well your team is operating, and what areas there are for improvement. Next, let's look at Jira's roadmap features, ideal for planning at a higher level. While a board helps you manage day-to-day tasks, a roadmap, also known as a timeline, lets you see the bigger picture. They're great for planning large initiatives, communicating timelines, and aligning cross-functional teams. Roadmaps let you create epics and visualize their timeline. Add child tasks beneath epics, and drag and drop bars to adjust timeframes. They're great for product managers, team leads, and anyone needing to plan ahead. Let's step by step access and use the timeline. Again, to access your timeline, go to your project and click Timeline. It can be a little slow to load sometimes, so I've already loaded it here in a new tab. This Jira project is for tracking the work related to building a website for a music festival that I'm putting together. It's called the Music You'll Really Enjoy Festival, aka the Meyer Festival. This project has 2 epics associated with it already. Launch teaser website and website V2, ticket sales. They're listed here under releases. So this first epic, launch teaser website, that's a big task. It's much too big for an Agile team to tackle as one task. So that epic is a container for smaller tasks. And you'll see those spread across 2 sprints. My second epic also spans 2 sprints, but doesn't have that many tasks in it yet. That's okay. That's kind of a key part of Agile methodology. Things that need action soon have much more detail and planning associated with them than things that don't need action for a while. But I can still plan for those things that might not happen for a while yet. So I'm going to create another epic. I'll give it a name. I'm going to create one for website version 3. And these features are going to be focused on adding enhancements to the site for festival support. All the features that the site needs to support the festival as it's happening. Then I can drag the time bars as needed after editing some dates. I can choose a start date, and maybe I'll leave due date empty for now. This faded out right end of the bar indicates that there's no due date. And I may as well back this one epic up to start when the other one is planned to end. Maybe I'll change the color to differentiate it from my other sprints. My other epics. I can create child issues right here. So to add child issues to this epic, I click the plus sign and start making some notes about tasks that will need to happen for this epic. Let's see, features that we might need for this version of the website are stage schedules. Yeah, people will need to know that while they're at the festival. Maybe today's menu, so people can see all the great food that's available through our catering service. And let me add one more for incident report form. I don't think we'll need this, but just in case anyone needs to report any problems, yeah, we'll add that feature. Now I have 3 tasks in that epic. You can also add tasks to an epic from the backlog. So I'll go to the backlog. I'll scroll down to the bottom where I will create another issue. And I will call this additional FAQs. We'll add some additional FAQs to the website. I'll mouse over this area, select Epic, and choose the epic that I want to add this task to, Website v3. There it is. Let me look at the issue details. And you'll see the epic is listed here. In this screen, this value is labeled parent. Don't worry, that's okay. Epic and parent serve the same purpose. So another real-world example for the use of epics might be if you're launching a new mobile app. You might create epics for backend services, and another one for front-end UI, and another one for beta testing. Those are all really big tasks that are really made up of a bunch of other tasks. So you can create those 3 epics, map each to a timeline, and add tasks for developers and QA. Everyone can now see how the pieces fit together. So roadmaps, or timelines, help with high-level planning across weeks or months. Use them to manage epics and communicate timelines. They're ideal for keeping stakeholders aligned. But also remember, the less critical something is right now, the harder it is to predict exactly when it will be completed. The timeline is great for high-level planning, but remember to stay flexible and adapt to shifting priorities. If you think mapping out epics on a timeline might be useful for you, pause the video and give it a try. Set up 1 or more epics and estimate the time frame over which that work should be completed. Associate individual work items with those epics, also called parents, to track progress of each epic. When you come back, we'll look at how to create many issues at once with bulk issue creation. Manually creating dozens of issues one by one is slow and error-prone. If you're setting up a new project or sprint, bulk creation saves hours of time. There are 2 main ways. 1, CSV import via Jira's built-in importer, and 2, through marketplace apps for advanced needs. In this chapter, we'll focus on the CSV import, and that's available to project admins. Let's go through step by step. I want to bulk upload issues to this project. So to do that, I'll navigate to All Work. This All Work screen, by the way, is just like the filters functionality that we looked at in a previous chapter. It's essentially a filter that is pre-filtered with the criteria of project equals, well, whichever project you're currently looking at. You can do all the things that you can do from the filter screen. Apply filters, edit the JQuery directly, and save your filter. So I'm going to click on the 3 dots on the right and click Import Work Items from CSV. Here is where you will upload a CSV file. I've already created one, and it looks like this. It just has 2 columns, summary and issue type, and it's a list of 3 different issues: integrate Apple Pay, integrate Google Pay, and integrate PayPal. So I'll click Choose File, select it and open, and click Next. I'll select the project to import it to. The issues that I'm importing are for my Meyer website project. I'll leave these other settings unchanged and click Next. Now I can map the fields. For each field in my CSV file, I need to choose which Jira field that should go into. So issue type, well, that's going to go into the Jira issue type field. The summary will go into the summary. Note, Jira gives me a little example from the first row of my data. So I have in case I'm not sure what those fields in my CSV file are, this gives me a little bit of a hint. Now I'll click Next. Begin import. Depending on the size of your file, this might take a few seconds or a minute or so. 3 work items successfully imported. Great. Now I'll click Check Created Issues. There they are. Note that some fields that I didn't assign values to have values, like priority and reporter and status. That's because all of these values are default, or there's a rule, like whoever creates the issue is the reporter. So really, my CSV file didn't even need a column for issue type. I really just needed one column that had my summaries. That would have been good enough in this example. While we're here, let's also look at the JQuery. We looked at JQuery in a previous chapter. Since Jira assigned issue keys to all of my issues, Jira was able to set up a constraint on issue key to show just the issues created via this import, all the ones with keys between 25 and 27. So here are some tips for successful bulk importing. If you include assignees in your import file, make sure those assignees exist in Jira before importing. Use plain text only. Avoid formatting or special characters. And if errors occur, Jira will give you a summary to help fix them. So you can imagine a content team is planning blog posts for Q2. They create a spreadsheet with 25 articles with each title, writer, due date, and status, then import it to Jira and assign tasks in minutes. That's a lot faster than creating each issue individually within the Jira interface. So you can use CSV import to create multiple issues quickly, map your data to Jira fields carefully, and it's great for project setups, onboarding, or sprint planning. The next time that you have a lot of issues to create at once, remember the option of doing that via a CSV import. Next, we'll learn about edit issues in bulk. That's just as powerful as creating them. Projects evolve. Priorities shift. People change roles. Instead of editing issues one by one, which is tedious and error-prone, you can use bulk editing to update multiple issues at once. It's a massive time saver when assigning issues to a new team member, changing priorities after a planning meeting, or updating statuses after a release. Bulk editing allows you to change fields like assignee and priority and labels and status and issue type. Even delete or move issues. So be careful. Note, you'll need the right permissions to use this feature. So there are a handful of issues in this project that I want to mark as high priority. There they are all in the current active sprint. Right now, everything in the sprint is medium priority. So to do a bulk edit, first, I will navigate to the All Work tab. Next, use filters or JQuil to narrow down the issues to the ones you want to update. I'll narrow down to in progress and to do, because if it's done, I don't need to worry about changing the priority. And the type of work item, I will focus on stories. And I also want to filter to just the current sprint. So let me search for that filter. There it is, sprint. So sprint equals, and I'll choose the sprint for this project. And this is my currently active sprint for this board. Great, and here's my list of issues. Now, sorry, I don't have much real estate, but believe me, there's the list of issues. You can see them scrolling by. Next, I'll click on the three dots and to open more actions and click on Bulk Change Work Items. Now I can see all the lists that were returned by my filter. I'm going to select them all, but I'm going to deselect this one. I don't want to change the priority of this. So in this example, I have 4 items that I want to bulk update. I'll click Next. Choose your operation. I'm going to edit issues, but note that you can also move issues, transition them through the workflow, permanently delete issues, start watching issues, or stop watching issues. Again, I'm going to edit because I'm going to change the priority for each of these issues. I'm going to change priority, and I want to mark them all high. Note that there are other fields that I can modify here. Lots of fields, in fact. But for now, I'm just going to change the priority to high. So I'll click Next. Here's a confirmation of what I'm doing. I'm changing the priority field to a value of high. So that table above summarizes the changes I'm about to make for these 4 issues. And this shows what they currently have as their priority, which is medium, as well as all the other attributes about them. This looks good to me, so I will click Confirm. Jira is editing those 4 issues. And after a few seconds, bulk operation is 100% complete. From here, I'll click Done. Now, if I go back to my active sprint, I can see that these items now show high priority. So just remember that there's no undo with bulk update. So double check everything. Never bulk delete unless you're absolutely sure. Test with a small set of issues first if you're unsure. Here's a real-world example where bulk edit might be useful. Let's say a sprint is canceled and all 12 tasks need to be reassigned and downgraded from high to medium priority. Instead of opening each issue, The PM selects all 12 issues, uses bulk edit, and they're done in under a minute. So to recap, bulk editing is essential for managing large numbers of issues efficiently. Always use filters to narrow down your list carefully. Use with caution, especially for deleting or transitioning. Now that you've learned the most powerful tools in Jira, let's wrap up this course. Congratulations! You've reached the end of the course. Let's take a moment to reflect on everything you've learned. You now know how to navigate Jira and understand Kanban boards. You know how to create and customize boards and workflows. You can add, view, and manage issues. You can use filters and dashboards to stay focused. You know how to share your work with your team and generate insightful reports. You know about long-term planning using roadmaps, also known as timelines. And you know how to save time with bulk issue creation and bulk editing. Start by applying what you've learned to your own team's processes. Build your board to match your team's workflow. Create shared filters for visibility. Use dashboards in team stand-ups. Import or update tasks in bulk when setting up new projects. And remember, Jira is highly customizable. As you become more confident, explore automation, third-party integrations, and custom workflows. Final thoughts. Jira can seem complex at first, but with the right structure and the right approach, it becomes a powerful tool to drive clarity, transparency, and productivity. The key is to start simple, focus on your team's real-world needs, and build from there. Thank you for joining this course. I hope it's helped you not just learn Jira, but to use it with confidence.